Greetings and salutations, my fellow gamers. My name is AFarCryAway, and today we're going to talk about Killing Floor Update 1038. Right, so this update is pretty huge, but it changes little minor things, but they're changing so many minor things that it's going to feel very different when you get back on the game. Firstly, they greatly reduced the instances of Zed teleportation. Essentially, players should never notice Zed's teleport now unless a Zed is completely stuck and cannot move, which will be an extremely rare instance. The Sirens can no longer teleport. Added the Siren to the list of large and more powerful Zeds that cannot teleport. That's great because honestly that got me killed way more times than necessary. Crawlers. It was hard to notice when crawlers were attacking you, so we adjusted the stationary attack animations. We've also redone their get up animations. You can now jump over and onto crawlers, knocking them down. Refined evade animations for crawler, slasher, and stalker. Zeds now utilize evade animations when trying to avoid grenades. Right, so this next one is kind of controversial. So it's for the sharpshooter. They decreased the EBR rifle stun power to 8, and it was 40. They decreased the railgun stun power to 50 when it was 100. They've increased the railgun lock-on time for the bloat, the scrake, and the flesh pound to 1.1 seconds. And it was 0.35 seconds, so, 35 milliseconds. The freeze grenade radius has been increased to 900, and it was 600. So lots of nerfs across the board, except for on the freeze grenade, which got a buff, which is good, but let's be honest here. I would honestly say the freeze grenade is largely useless, as it doesn't really get any kills. Yes, it slows things down, and it can kind of save you sometimes, but I'm glad that the radius has been increased, but all those other nerfs are going to be very controversial. Right, so now there are knockback refinements. On the crawlers, their stationary attack no longer pushes players, the lunge attack now only slightly pushes players, and their stationary attack has the crawler jump up higher so it's easier for you to see that you're being attacked by one. The Alpha Clot, the stationary attacks no longer push players, and the lunge attack now only slightly pushes the player. The Slasher Clot's stationary attack no longer pushes players, and their lunge attack only slightly pushes them. The Cyst Clot no longer pushes players. The Stalker's stationary attacks no longer push players, and their lunge attack only slightly pushes them. So pretty much knockback refinements across the board for all of the weaker Zeds. They haven't really talked about the bigger Zeds yet, but we'll see. The stun duration refinements are in. After fixing an issue with how stun duration was calculated, the following stun durations should now be applied. This should make it harder to stun lock large Zeds. And pretty much they've changed the stun length time for a lot of them. I might just put a screenshot here for you guys because honestly there's a lot of them. Right, so on to difficulty. The hard mode is getting some refinements here as the win rates are still lower in the hard mode than they would like, so they're adjusting the damage mods for some of the Zeds. So the Stalker damage mod was 0.75, is 0.75, and it was 1. The Crawler's damage is now down to 0.75 as it was 1 before the update, and the Bloat and the Gorefast and the Siren and the Scrake and the Flesh Pound all across the board got this damage reduction. So playing on the hard difficulty setting is going to be a lot easier, and I don't necessarily agree with that because I personally feel like hard is now normal, which is already pretty bad, and now it's even easier, so I'm a little bit against it, I guess, but at the same time I do see a lot of teams losing on even hard difficulty, and I can kind of understand why they would want to lessen the blow, so that way people who really want a challenge go play Suicidal instead of hard. And I kind of understand, but at the same time, I wish there was almost a difficulty in between normal and hard that would be this difficulty. And then there are a ton of bug fixes, in which I'm probably not going to go through all of them, but there's a lot of really nice bug fixes here, and I'm pretty happy with it. Like, they're fixing the VO for Hans, they're fixing, like, the lighting in certain places, they're fixing the localization for, like, the medic, and removing the huge background volume on hostile grounds, and things like that across the board. So really that's all good, and hopefully there are more bug fixes. Of course, they're always bug fixing this game, and that's one thing I will give Tripwire credit for is the bug fixes. They do a good job with them, so keep it up, Tripwire. Right, and that's everything for the update, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, feel free to hit that subscribe button for more Killing Floor update information in the future. So, till next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.